Diego. Game as a Charger, he suited up and ran for over 200 yards. Bona fide all-pro, and he gives them a whole new dimension. He'll use them in pass pattern. We've already seen that.
6 defensive backs in for Detroit on 3rd and 4. And Vinny Hill in motion. It's an inside give to Anderson, who has a blocker in front, and the first down out to the 46-yard. Collared down by Bruce McNorton, who was holding on by the shoulder pads, but a first down Buccaneers.
I'll tell you that. I've done 4 preseason games getting ready for this one. They line up, they go. The rules of the game, straight ahead, no fair dodging. Added 13 pounds. He's up to 190 pounds of muscle now. Played for Lou Holtz in Arkansas. You just saw him pick.
I tell you what, the NFL wants to speed up play, but I can't believe how quick they got this game started today. Commissioner, that was a bit strange. 11-yard pickup, first down for Tampa Bay. Testaverde has the tight end, and the Bucs will score quickly. 54 yards. Vinny Testaverde to Ron Hall, the tight end, and the Bucs score. 2 minutes, 15 seconds into this contest.
Nothing fancy. They took the tight end straight down the middle. He's going to be a more integral part of this offense this year. Ron Hall, they call him Iron Man. Walked on coals at the University of Hawaii to improve his concentration.
Here's the new place kicker for Tampa Bay, Steve Christie. Mark Royals is the holder. Christie nails his first PAT, but a flag on the field.
We got offsides, 65, defense lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff. The extra point is good. Timeout.
Tom White, our referee today, so count the PAT. That's the longest reception of Ron Hall's career, and the Bucs score quickly. This would be the year of Vinny Testaverde, the year he comes through. And how about his first throw of the 1990 season, Timmy?
Watch the right hand of your screen. 6:55 is Cofer. Doesn't get a hand on Hall. Hall comes free, just goes right down the middle of the seam in a zone defense, and nobody picks him up. But the key to the play was Cofer, the linebacker, head up on him, never got a hand on him, and let him come free.
Testaverde dropped it right in there. Perfect on target. Christie will kick for the Bucs. The Lions Silver Stretch will take the field for the first time as the deep kick goes through the end zone. And that's one reason why Christie has replaced the very popular Donald Igwe-Buike as the Bucs kicker. Rodney Peete in his second year from USC quarterbacks the Lions. And the Silver Stretch will go against the Tampa Bay defense, including Davis and Cannon up front, along with Jarvis, the nose tackle. Broderick Thomas in his second season, growing up, starting, along with Marv, Randall, and Moss. Haddix and Rice, the 2 corners, both free agent acquisitions in the offseason. So after the touchback at the 20, the Lions' first offensive play of the year. Peete across the middle, behind his target, Jason Phillips at the 35-yard line. Detroit's offensive line, Brown, Andelsick, Glover, Dallafor, and Salem. No tight end for the Lions, playing the run and shoot. There's not a tight end on the roster. Barry Sanders in the backfield, 4 receivers, Clark, Johnson, Phillips, and Greer. We'll see 8 receivers, in fact, today playing for Detroit. 2nd and 10. Peete on target this time at the 38-yard line. Robert Clark and a Lions first down.
It's a gain of 19 yards. What this offense does, they call it the Silver Stretch because it's designed to stretch the defense all the way across the field. It's not predicated on down and distance. They want to create a lot of space to set up the run for Barry Sanders. Every one of these receivers has 3 or 4 options on every play. Wherever the defender is, he's going to go the opposite way, and the quarterback has to read it.
Kansas City gets a quick touchdown as well. 1st and 10, Detroit from its 39-yard line. Peete. Again across the middle. Again, it's Clark. And it's a Lions first down, a gain of 18 this time.
You remember street football as a kid? You run to the open area, just try to separate from the receiver. See the middle of your screen? That's what happens to Clark. He just goes to the open area, makes the catch, and then sits down right there. Gain of 18. They'll continue to go to the open area. That time Tampa Bay was in a zone, and they were soft in the middle.
Into Tampa Bay territory. First down from the Bucs 43. 3 receivers to the near side. Rodney back to his man, Robert Clark. And yet another Lions first down, a gain of 17. The last 3 plays to Clark, 19, 18, and 17-yard completions.
Clark is the wide receiver to the left. Rodney Peete checks the whole field, checks all 5 receivers, because Sanders was there as well this time. Instead, he went back to his wide man all the way out there, Clark, who was just sitting there. Normally, Clark will run a stretch pattern straight down to clear out things underneath for Johnson.
First down from the 26. We have not seen Barry Sanders carry the football to this point. Seven nothing Tampa Bay. First quarter. Quick route now. Back to Clark, who shakes free and into the end zone. Touchdown Detroit. Picking on the new corners at Tampa. And he broke free from Rodney Rice and scampers into the end zone for the touchdown. And Eddie Murray will attempt the extra point out of the hole from Jim Arnold. (7-7). Robert Clark caught 4 passes on the opening drive for 80 yards. And the tying touchdown. We told you it was going to be exciting.
Defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. He's got nightmares. Here's a guy that in his career has produced 6 all-pro defensive backs. Not here. Rodney Rice right away has too much of a cushion. Now comes up, commits himself to the outside, to the sidelines, and Clark just sidesteps him and pushes him away and runs it in for a touchdown. Very poor technique by Rodney Rice.
Murray kicks away. Again, it'll be Cobb from the 10 this time. To the outside, Reggie Cobb. Nice return to the 34-yard line where he's tackled by Bruce McNorton, his second special teams tackle. This crowd was silenced quickly by Tampa Bay, but got back into their pulsating form as the Silver Stretch answered quickly.
I'll tell you this, partner. You don't even get settled in your seat. They kick off early, touchdown for Tampa Bay, touchdown for Detroit.
You don't even have time to say hello today. Spin the warm greeting. Perkins and Anderson in the backfield behind Testaverde. Bucs will start out from the 32-yard line. Perkins first carry is a throw. Picks up 2. Quite a story. Bruce Perkins, a rookie free agent from Arizona State, was not drafted. He had led the nation, the national junior college rushing champ in 1987, but had a very mediocre career at Arizona State. Has he been impressive in camp and gets the start for the Bucs? 2nd and 8. Anderson on the pitch. To the 41-yard line. Whole new set of running backs, Timmy, for Tampa Bay.
I'll tell you what, though, that was a great play right there by Gary Anderson. He was going to try to get outside, instead got the kick-out block on Kofer, which opened up a lane, and he just came through a hole that wasn't even there. Just slithered through and picked up about 8 on his own.
He was acquired from San Diego on draft day. He sat out the entire '89 season in a contract dispute with the Chargers. 3rd and 2, shotgun time. Vinny going against 6 defensive backs. Picks up the first down to Anderson. Into Detroit territory at the 42-yard line. Gain of 17. And a tackle by McNorton.
Talk about the dimension. There it is. He runs one play, makes a great cut as a running back. Now comes out. He's a wide receiver. Cuts underneath the linebackers and makes the catch for another first down. You know, he's not that big. He's 6'1", 190, but he's solid, and he's fast.
People in Tampa remember Gary Anderson from his days with the Bandits. USFL. Play action pass, the 30 over the head of Mark Carrier. And a flag down. Flag down in the area where Testaverde released the pass. Maybe roughing the quarterback.
Personal foul, number 55, unnecessary roughness, first down.
Mike Kofer collided with Testaverde, and he got flagged for it. And the ball is advanced to the 27-yard line of Detroit. It's opening weekend of the National Football League. All of us at CBS Sports are pleased to be with you for the 35th consecutive year on our network. 1st and 10, Buccaneers. Carrier in tight on the left-hand side. Hill to the right.
Too much time, Jim. There's no question. They came out and they lined up in a power defense, and it confused Testaverde. He just took too much time trying to read the defense and never got the snap. Here are the 2 rookies we were telling you about working on Jerry Ball. Look at Mayberry right there in the middle. Beckles comes over and tries to help, and then they get the old veteran Taylor to help out. Now, Ball came into camp late. He's still over 300 pounds, 310, so he's getting a workload here today.
It's 48 days. 1st and 15. Anderson trotting to the 23-yard line. Tackled by Keith Ferguson. Tampa Bay 5-11 last year. Won its opener at Green Bay and then suffered a heartbreaking loss to San Francisco at home. Chiefs up 2 touchdowns on Minnesota. A lot of people are thinking that the Bucs are ready to gel. 4th year for the quarterback, 4th year for the coach, Ray Perkins. 2nd down and 7 from the 24. And again a whistle.
Say, Tom White, the referee's getting a workout too.
False start, right tackle on the offense, still 2nd down.
Rob Taylor is the right tackle. Let's talk some more, Timmy, about the right guard, Ian Beckles, number 62, who starts ahead of John Bruin.
Well, he's 6'1", 295, 5th-round draft pick. He's a rugby player from Canada. We mentioned he got that 30-day work pass to come to camp from Canada. Blocked for Anthony Thompson in Indiana. Also grew up with Alonzo Highsmith. Played with him in grade school.
2nd and 12. Hill in motion. Staying on the ground with Anderson. Fumbled the football. And recovered by the Lions. Vinny Blades on the recovery for Detroit. What happened here, Timmy?
Anderson looked to cut it up inside. He gets it there, but the pursuit comes from the inside. It was forced by the linebacker on that side, Jamison, from the outside, and before he could get his feet back to the ground, the ball was popped loose. Great pursuit by the inside backers. Spielman, Jamison, Gibson, Kofer, they were all running to the football.
So the Lions back onto the field. Midway 1st quarter, tied at 7. CBS Herbert set his run and shoot. Rodney Peete swings it over to his man, Richard Johnson, who does a few nifty moves along the way out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 13.
You know, anytime you've got 4 wide outs, you've got a running back that can catch passes as well. You've got to utilize your running backs, or you've got to commit with 6 or 7 defensive backs. Here, they're working on their linebackers, and there's no way Johnson can't beat a linebacker. Look at that. He embarrasses him. Winston Moss had no shot. He's got to break down. He can't run with the receivers.
Rodney is 5 for 6. He's hit his last 5 passes, 93 yards. Still, Sanders has not run the football. Now he has a gain of 4. The consensus Rookie of the Year of 1989, the '88 Heisman Trophy winner. What a sparkling performance he had last year for the Detroit Lions.
Here's where he fits in all time among the rookies. He also was just a few yards shy last year behind Christian Okoye of Kansas City. Matter of fact, they tried to put him back in the game to become the rushing leader, and he says, no, I don't need that. Just go ahead and play.
He's an amazing individual. 2nd and 5. We'll give him 5 on that carry. Phillips in motion for the Lions. Deep with all kinds of protection. Dancing out of the pocket. Hitting his man who fumbled the football but gets it back. It's Robert Clark, the touchdown receiver on the opening drive. Now they're ruling it incomplete. Incomplete. Thought Clark may have had it.
Here's a great indication of how they now are thinking pass, and they're just sitting back and looking for it. So Peete consequently had all day. There was no rush. He should have held on to that football.
3rd down and 5.
7 passes, only 1 run now for Detroit.
Lions flood the left side with receivers. Peete looks that way, has his man, Jason Phillips, in Tampa Bay territory at the 44-yard line. Again, working on Rodney Rice. Gain of 12.
That's 8 passes now, 1 run for Detroit. You know what that means to me? That means Barry Sanders is going to have a huge day, because now they're going to start loading up for the pass, and it's just going to create space for a guy that can utilize that space better than anybody in the NFL.
They've set him up for it.
No question. That's the beauty of this offense.
1st and 10. Quickly now has his man Greer to the 31-yard line. And a gain of 13. Terry Greer.
Mouse Davis, the innovator of this offense, he actually got it from Tiger Ellison, a high school coach, but he's used it since way back in the 70s, maybe even earlier than that. He says there's not a defense that can stop this offense when it's executed properly. This guy's an evangelist when it comes to that offense. He says nobody ever wanted it. Now they all want it. They're all converts.
Being now described as the offense of the 90s in this league. 1st and 10, Peete going long over the head of Robert Clark. Good coverage that time by Rodney Rice. Notice a difference this year of Rodney Peete?
Absolutely. Bulked up a little bit. Put on about 8-10 pounds. Bigger, stronger, more confident. Says he's more relaxed. You know, that was a perfect indication there, that last play, though. He has to read the same thing the receiver does. Receiver goes down, sees the defensive back, and then has to run a route accordingly. And he has to see the same thing. That time he did. Clark pulled up, he threw deep, so they read differently.
Now they've blown a whistle. They're discussing it with Wayne Fonts.
I think Tampa Bay's headsets aren't working, so they're going to make the Lions take theirs off as well. They don't want an unfair advantage here. They're going to make both sides take their headsets off, and that'll hurt this guy.
Wayne says, wait a minute. I think we'd rather have ours. See Ray Perkins, though. No communications from upstairs. And the coaches in the press box looking down on the field.
You know what's interesting about this offense, though? Take the headsets off. Because once the play comes out, it's out of the coach's hands. It's all on the players. They have to read, and they have to execute themselves.
2nd and 10. Game tied 7-7. Handoff to Sanders. Dancing around inside to the 25-yard line. Broderick Thomas tackles Sanders along with Winston Moss.
Draws, traps, counters. This guy's got an interesting style. He stops, jukes, makes tacklers just go for air. Watch this. Here's the draw now. Watch him. There's 1, 2, 3 guys get a hand on him, and then finally he'll use his power. He uses his quickness to a certain extent, then he uses that little low center of gravity he has at 5'8" and uses his power.
It is 3rd and 4 from the 25. First down, Greer shakes free from Haddix, and then is tackled by Eugene Marv and various other Buccaneers, including Mark Robinson. Terry Greer was picked up in the offseason as a Plan B free agent. Played for the 49ers last year.
That's what Wayne Fonts and Mount Davis love to talk about. They said, hey, we're loaded with free agents and cast-offs from other teams. We don't have talent, but we've got little guys that can separate from receivers and make some yardage.
It's 8 first downs already for the Lions. Here comes Sanders.
Look out.
To the wall. $13 yards for Barry Sanders. Harry Hamilton tackles him.
Watch the blocking on the left side. This is a hook. They'll force everything to the inside, and then Barry just takes it back outside. You know, when scouts talk about running with vision, Sanders is the model. Countless tacklers miss him on every single play.
1st and goal. They try to go up top. Sanders is denied. This is one thing about the run and shoot, is that in short yardage situations, since you don't carry a tight end on the team, you stay with your 4 receiver set and 1 back, and it can hurt the run and shoot. Do you buy that?
Well, I do buy it, except, again, we go back to what we say. This offense not predicated on down or distance. You know, they'll go to it anyway. You know what they did? They went to a jumbo package a couple times last year, used Jerry Ball, the nose tackle, as a tight end, and that didn't work. So they stay now with their wide offense.
2nd and goal. Sanders the lone back. They'll run the option with Sanders and scores. That's an offensive attack both Rodney Peete and Barry Sanders are familiar with.
Another one of those plays, Jim, they say will not work in professional football, the option. It took Ray Seals and just confused him, turned him around.
Murray makes the extra point. 14-7 Detroit. They drive 73 yards in 11 plays, and Barry Sanders scores his first touchdown of the 1990 season. Hoping this year at the Silverdome to restore the roar of the Lions. 66,000 expected today. Opening day in the National Football League. That is nearly double the attendance of last year's opening game here in Detroit. Harvey on the return for the Bucs. Harvey on the sidelines. Steps out of bounds near the 35-yard line. 3 touchdowns here in the first quarter. 1 minute, 3 seconds remaining in the opening stanza. We'll be back and see if Testaverde can move the Bucs. Jim Nance and Tim Brandt with you from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. The Lions have scored 2 touchdowns to answer the Bucs, who scored 2 minutes into this contest. Now Tampa Bay begins its drive from the 33-yard line. Harry Anderson darting free to the 47-yard line. 13 yards for Anderson. It's been a rather conservative game plan here early for Ray Perkins in Tampa Bay.
Watch the block right here on the nose tackle. That's Jerry Ball. Jerry Ball just came back to camp. He's working against a young player, and they just take him and they ride him out of there. And being the experienced running back that Anderson is, he cuts back to the left side when the hole was supposed to be on the right. Great read on his part, but a great block up front by Mayberry.
First down, 8 rushes, now 4 passes, and this one goes to Anderson to midfield. Say this has been a conservative offense, but the Bucs have moved the football, that's for sure. Their last drive stopped on an Anderson fumble.
This only cost them 2 third-round picks to get an all-pro. That's a pretty good deal. When they talk about him, they don't say, hey, we've got a running back. He says, we've got a running back and a wide receiver in Gary Anderson. That's what Perkins says, and you can see it here.
All they have to do is walk across the line of scrimmage. Gary Anderson's going back to pick up a towel, but the ball is right at midfield. They'll switch sides and get the second quarter underway. But at the end of the first quarter, the score is Detroit 14 and Tampa Bay 7. We're back for the second quarter from the Silverdome, and Detroit leading by a touchdown. Around the league, the Rams have a touchdown on the Packers. Minnesota now on the board after Kansas City scored the first 2 TDs. This is a second down play, and Anderson back to the line of scrimmage. Jerry Ball, the holdout, and the nose tackle, Pro Bowler, met him head on at the 50.
I was talking to Jerry Ball just before the ball game. I said, Jerry, how long will you go? He says, well, the coaches will leave it up to me. If I get tired, I'll go out. He says, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to get tired. Even if I am, I'm not going to tell them.
3rd and 7 for Tampa Bay. The Lions bring in 2 extra defensive backs, McNorton and Crockett. The Bucs go from the shotgun. John Harvey out of the backfield. Breaks free for the first down and out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Gain of 17, and one of the new running backs for Tampa. It's an amazing story. Not one of the running backs had a carry last year for the Bucs. Went with all new ones.
How about this? Perkins, Cobb, Harvey, and Lawson. Nobody even knows who those guys are for the most part. Of course, Reggie Cobb had a great career at Tennessee, but Anderson is the guy everybody knows about.
Harvey was on the developmental squad last year for the Bucs. That is something that is now extinct, unfortunately, in the National Football League. No developmental. Cobb is in the backfield behind Testaverde on first down. Cobb's first carry in the NFL to the 29-yard line.
Tell you what they like about not only Reggie Cobb, but Bruce Perkins as well, the 2 fullbacks. They're both big. Perkins is 230, and this guy right here, Reggie Cobb's 225, and he runs a 4.5 40.
He was the 30th pick in the draft. Second rounder. We'll talk more about Reggie Cobb. Got an extra tight end now for Tampa Bay. Jesse Anderson, another rookie, in with Hall. On second down, Cobb. Cobb with a good run to the 24. A yard shy of the first down. Timmy, I tell you, last year on the college football circuit, I worked the game Tennessee against Auburn, and Reggie Cobb ran for 225 yards. Said he went out that night with some friends and told himself that haven't done anything in a while as far as recreational activities. Said, I think I owe it to myself. 2 days later, he failed a drug test. His career at Tennessee was over, and he spent from January 2nd on up until camp time at the John Lucas Treatment Center in Houston. He only had to spend the mandatory 30 days, but he stayed on as a counselor. Great success story there. 3rd and 1. Anderson. First down, Bucs, I believe. Well, it may be close.
Of course, I know John Lucas very well, and Luke tries to put that whole thing in perspective since he went through it himself. I did the game, Tennessee, Alabama, shortly after that where he didn't play. Chuck Webb came in. Webb had a marvelous day, and it seemed to put things in perspective for Cobb. Cobb says, hey, that shows you how fragile everything in life is. Guy steps in for me, doesn't miss a beat. I better get my act together. And now Ray Perkins tells us this guy does have his life together. He has corrected things that bothered him in the past.
Tampa has picked up the first down. Ray Perkins says, I believe in second chances. I do not believe in third chances, however.
He means it, too. He's tough.
The Bucks at the Detroit 23-yard line. Second quarter, Lions lead 14-7. Perkins back in there with Anderson in the backfield. Delay give to Perkins to the 15. Gain of 8. Bruce Perkins is the nephew of Don Perkins, the former Dallas Cowboy great running back who's in the Ring of Honor there in Dallas.
No relation, however, to Ray Perkins, the head coach. Here he is, 6'2", 230. That's a pretty good cut inside for a free agent. Of course, the hole was made by the left side there by McHale and Gruber.
Ray did say it's unusual having a guy named Perkins. First time he's ever had a Perkins on his team. Just to call out a player by the same name is it's awkward at times. Cobb returns to the lineup. Second down and short. Cobb cutting over to the right side and near the first down marker.
Saw Perkins try to stretch things out there with his offensive scheme. Went with one setback, went to the wide receivers. You know, this guy right here, Ray Perkins, looked at the run and shoot when he was in Alabama, then looked at it some more when he got to Tampa Bay. Said, I see too many softness issues in it. I see the quarterback getting hit on every single play. I'm not going to it. You better start thinking about it. I tell you that. Detroit came out with 128 passing yards in the first quarter against 71 for his club.
That's when he was at Alabama. Said he recruited Jeff Dunn from North Carolina out of high school there, and Hollingsworth as well. Two passers and thought he might go to it. 3rd and 1. Cobb getting good blocks and a first down just inside the 10-yard line. Running behind the tight end, Ron Hall, and the right tackle, Rob Taylor. Jamison and Ferguson combine for the Detroit tackle, but not until the Bucks get the 1st and goal at the 9.
Very methodical, well-planned out drive here by Tampa Bay. Good push off the offensive line. They're establishing a new line of scrimmage. Ball looks a little bit tired now in the middle. Look at him. He's down on his knees trying to get some air. Now he's back up, but it's a good, strong drive right now by Tampa Bay.
Perkins and Anderson split in the backfield. Hill in motion. Anderson with very little running room. Maybe pick up a half a yard. Ball and Ferguson combine on the tackle. And how about the two offenses we've seen here in this opening game?
Old adage by every coach that I've ever come in contact with says, hey, this time of the year the defense is way ahead of the offense because the offense needs timing, it needs repetitions. Both these offenses have been outstanding, and it's been the defenses that have struggled.
2nd and goal from the 8. Carrier to the left, Hill to the right. Denny across the middle, has his man, and he is in for the touchdown. It's Bruce Perkins. Bruce Perkins. Rookie free agent. Has scored, and now an extra point will tie it.
They're going to review it. They're going to look at this play. And the reason is he was so close to breaking the plane that Lions said he didn't get in, and now they're going to look at it. You know, Testaverde never took his eyes off the middle. Watch his head. He's still looking down the middle, waiting for Harvey to come underneath. There he is. Linebackers never read it. Gibson tried to come up. And I'm not so sure he did break it. You know, the ball did not break the plane. Watch this. It's the ball that has to hit the front side of that line. The very front of that paint is the imaginary line. There's his shoulders down right there. And the ball's not there. That's not a touchdown. That is not a touchdown.
After further review, the play stands as called.
Still didn't make it.
Hey, it's very close. Very close. Touchdown for Bruce Perkins. Wayne Fonts was formerly the defensive coordinator for the Bucks. Kick ties it by Christie. 14 all. Vinny Testaverde with his second touchdown pass of the game. And the game is tied. We're in store for a shootout. Another excellent kick by Christie. Touchback, and the Lions will begin at the 20. Mel Gray just lets it go. The Lions last year were 7-9. A season at one point where they were 1-8. In fact, they entered that season last year off a winless preseason, 0-4. And then that horrendous start, but closed with great success.
Late November, that man right there, Wayne Font, says that was the key. They were blown out 42-7 by Cincinnati. Coming back on the plane, he says everybody rededicated themselves, and they ended up winning 6 of the last 7 games.
And perfect in this preseason as well. Rodney down the line, throws it. Richard Johnson steps out at the 29. A yard shy of the first. This is a man right here, Richard Johnson, who was tailor-made for the run and shoot.
I first met Richard Johnson in the USFL. He was playing for Mouse Davis, the Houston Gamblers. Didn't get a chance once that league went under in the NFL. They said he couldn't play. He went to work for IBM, was a programmer for IBM, was out of football for 3 years, went back to Washington during the strike, tried out there. Mouse Davis came to Detroit and said, hey, you can play, come on.
2nd and 1. Set the Lions' receiving record last year was 70 catches. Look at the protection for Pete. Ball is tipped and picked off. Ball is intercepted by Robinson. And he's inside the 30 where he's bumped out forcefully by Barry Sanders. Mark Robinson off the deflection.
In the secondary, you call these chippies. You'll take him any way you get him, but this is cheap because watch, the ball is right here, thrown behind Clark. And Robinson just gets the tip. He was playing soft, wasn't even in the area near Clark, but got the interception. How about that? How about Barry Sanders, 5'8", put his head on a swivel. Boy, Robinson came up looking out of his ear hole.
I think the crowd initially was booing about the interception, but once they saw Sanders jar Robinson out of bounds, they got a real kick out of that. From the 27. Midway second quarter, game tied at 14, and Vinny calls a timeout. Lions' first timeout of the first half.
You know what Ray Perkins is doing very well here is he's resting Anderson, putting Reggie Cobbin in, keeping Anderson's leg fresh.
Slogan this year for Detroit, restore the roar. But first they must tighten up on defense. Tampa Bay has been moving the football. Now they begin from the 27. First down carry by Anderson. Bounces around to the 24-yard line. Dennis Gibson on the tackle.
Ray Perkins told us this is the toughest defense that he has faced while he's been at Tampa Bay. Right now, all the Lions tackles are being made by linebackers. Dennis Gibson just made that one. Now, the Lions protected 9 linebackers in the offseason. Protected 9 linebackers. So what Font said is they're using their linebackers to juice up the defense. It needs to be more aggressive. Right now, the linebackers are making all the tackles. They've got to get more pressure up front.
2nd and 6, I formation. Perkins and Anderson. All the tight end in motion. Pitch to Anderson. This time to the 20-yard line. How do you think Lars Tate was feeling when they got the cut last week? It must have been a shocker. I know he hadn't played a lot in the preseason, but he's only in his 3rd year. Was a number 2 pick. Had led the Bucs in rushing each of the last 2 years.
Was a shocker. You know, it's not only that, but how about Igwebuike? Never missed a field goal inside 35 yards. They cut him as well. He's still trying to find personnel that'll work in Tampa Bay. And Ray Perkins made some cuts he didn't want to make, but he's upgraded that running back position.
3rd and 2. Play action. Vinny up top to Anderson. Touchdown, Bucs. Touchdown pass number 3 for Vinny Testaverde. Gary Anderson, welcome back after a one-year hiatus to the National Football League.
He ought to go up and shake hands with Jesse Anderson, the tight end. Anderson cleared out right here, and that left Gary Anderson on the linebacker. See Spielman 54? He's saying, what happened? I was with the tight end. Jesse Anderson. And Gary blew right by me for the touchdown.
Christie on the extra point. Inside left. It's good. And it's 21-14. We've had 5 touchdowns in this game already. We're midway. Second quarter.
Bay on the touchdown has 2 tight ends and a wing. Now watch this tight end here. This is Jesse Anderson. Comes down and goes out there in his own defense, and here's Gary, takes the seam. No way the linebacker in his own defense can pick him up. Look, Spielman came up, was watching the tight end. Here comes Gary Anderson for the touchdown.
Here's the deep kick. Christie through the end zone. That's 3 kickoffs for Christie, and they have not, any of them, been returned. Talk about field position. He's accomplished that. Next Saturday, we open up our college football season on CBS. In the afternoon, Pitt, 2-0 on the season, goes against Oklahoma. Sooners won yesterday out at UCLA. And then at night, Tim Brandt and I will be in South Bend, Michigan against Notre Dame, but you got to think the Irish will be #1 after Miami lost last night.
Change that 2 to #1, no question about it. They move up now.
Andrea Joyce will join us from the studio along with Mike Francesa. Protection for Pete, and incomplete at the 35. A little low for Robert Clark. By the way, as you look at Rodney Peete and wonder about Andre Ware, a Heisman Trophy winner and first-round pick, of course, for the Detroit Lions. He was put on the inactive list for today's game. Just not enough snaps in practice, I suppose.
They say he'll be ready about Christmas.
He'll be before that, I'll bet you. 2nd and 10, Rodney scrambling around, doing a good job, and incomplete at the 35-yard line. Intended for Jason Phillips.
Took Rodney Peete a long time to get acclimated to this offense as well. And the thing with Andre Ware now comes in. He's the big money guy. He's the guy that was the Heisman Trophy winner, as you mentioned. The language is the same as the run and shoot he ran at the University of Houston, but the game is different. I mean, it's totally different. This guy said it's like putting it in high speed. Everything now is much quicker. The reads have to be right now. You don't have time to make that read, and he's just not ready. So they're going to try to unwrap him around Christmas time.
Primarily not ready because he was a 40-day holdout and did not sign until last week. But once he gets a few more weeks practice, he'll have the system down coming out of that run and shoot. I know the verbiage is a bit different. 3rd and 10. Oh, here comes Randall. Randall on the sack at the 12. And we'll see our first punt of the game. It's the first time really that Rodney's felt any kind of heat.
A loss of 6 yards. That's one of the knocks against this offense. They say your quarterback's always vulnerable. First sack of the afternoon, however.
Jim Arnold, 8th-year punter from Vanderbilt, will punt to Willie Drury. Stands back at his 43-yard line. 21-14 Tampa Bay. 5:30 to go before the half. Arnold's punt. Fair catch called by Drury at his 46. Good field position for Tampa Bay. That's a 40-yard punt for Arnold. Tampa Bay leading by 7. Home in Pontiac, Michigan. Jim Nance and Tim Brandt with the Bucks leading the Lions 21-14. Tampa Bay has had the football 4 times. They've driven for 3 scores. And the other time they fumbled inside the Lions 30.
Tampa Bay, Jim, I'm sorry, has had the ball almost 15 minutes. So now they've had to make changes up front. You see Spindler in the ball game now. Owens is in the game. Duckins, a whole new front for Detroit defensively.
That's 2 rookies and a second-year player trying to change the Bucks' fortunes on offense. And let's check out what's going on around the league. Back to New York, Greg.
Well, Jim, at Kansas City, Wade Wilson and Steve Jordan have hooked up to pull the Vikings even with the Chiefs. The touchdown pass to the tight end there ties it at 14-14 in 120-degree heat in Kansas City. No such problems where you are, Jim Nance.
No, very cozy today, in fact, here, Greg. Very cozy indeed. But we have a similar shootout here. 21-14, the Bucks. 2nd and 7. Bruce Perkins. Run out by Ray Crockett. 3rd and short coming up for Tampa Bay. How about these changes on defense, Timmy?
Well, you knew Ball was going to come out. Ball just came into camp, signed last week. He was tired. You could see that on the last touchdown. He could barely walk. He was trying to grasp for air. Jaw just dropped. Spindler, they're very high on, and Duckins, of course, the Plan B guy from the New York Giants, they're high on. They think those are going to be the guys that can give them a push up front, the push they haven't been getting. We told you the linebackers are making all the tackles.
There's Dan Owens. 2nd-round pick, Southern Cal. 3rd and 1. High formation. Pitch to Anderson. Anderson does not get it. George Jamison was there to make the stop, along with Terry Taylor. Interesting to see what Ray Perkins decides to do. He says, let's punt it. With a 7-point lead. That's a new punter for the Bucks. Mark Royals is his name. Back deep for the Lions is Mel Gray. He's actually on the 10-yard line. And the down clock.
Delay a game. Offense.
Not a bad move, actually. Gives Royals a little more room. Backing him up to the 50. Here's a guy that had a hard time making it in the NFL. Amazing story. Royals bounced around, tried out with many teams.
Cut countless times.
He actually punted in one replacement game for the Cardinals back in '87.
So if it's against the Lions, they'll move them right back up to where they were before. Detroit says that it was the offensive line that moved and drew them off, but I'm not so sure that argument will go.
Encroachment. Number 21, defense.
Of course, that still leaves them a yard shy.
Please reset. Stadium clock.
They'll probably decline it.
You know, that'll drive special teams guru Frank Gantz nuts. He loves perfection. His special teams are outstanding, every aspect. He hates to see a mental error like that. 4 don'ts to the kicking game. Don't be offsides. Don't rough the kicker. Don't let the ball hit the ground, and don't flip.
Tampa Bay takes the 5 yards. 45-yard line. 4th and a yard. Royals now. It's been the longest wait for a guy to punt. Here's his debut. Spiraling kick. Midway end zone. So not a pooch punt. He nailed it. A touchback out to the 20-yard line. Next weekend is a doubleheader weekend on CBS Sports. Of course, the NFL today will start it off at 12:30 Eastern time. Many will see the Bears and Green Bay following the NFL today. Atlanta's right back here at Pontiac against Detroit. In the afternoon, the Redskins and Niners. How about that one? Or the Giants against the Cowboys, the Saints at Minnesota. Check your local listings.
Everybody's picking the Niners again, saying it's the team of the 80s. Now they're going to establish themselves here early in the 90s. Washington's very strong. They came through preseason with hardly any injuries.
Be a great game next week.
Oh, you got Biner, Riggs, Kelvin Bryant's back for the Redskins.
21-14 here. Tampa Bay leads. The run and shoot. Looking long. Greer has it knocked away at the last moment by Haddix. He was a step ahead of his defender. Pass may have been slightly underthrown. He did not catch Greer in stride.
Rodney Peete, too much time, gets to reload, double pump, and there's no question he's out by himself. The ball is just underthrown. He has to wait, and Haddix didn't even know where the ball was. He just put his arm up and it hit it.
Fred Bruni, the Atlanta defensive coordinator, in his first year for Tampa Bay. 2nd and 10. Just before the half, 2:30 to go. Peete, incomplete. Again, it was Greer, the target.
And again, there was a lot of time. There's a flag down. We'll wait and see what that is. But Peete had all the time he wanted. Again, it was to Greer. You mentioned that. You know, it's rare to see a receiver in the silver stretch 6 feet or taller. Greer's the tallest guy out there. He's 6 foot, just over that.
Holding. 53. Offense. Replay. 2nd down.
So that'll back up Detroit to the 10-yard line.
Linebackers cannot cover the little guys, the fast guys. Here comes Greer. See number 89 there? He's just going to take it. There's his first option. Sees the linebacker coming back into his hook zone, so now he drifts across the middle, and he comes clear. There's no way Eugene Marv can stay with him. If the ball's thrown properly, it's a completion.
2nd and 10. Sending his receivers long. Peete now trying to get out of the pocket, does not. Tackled by Jim Scow, who was just picked up a week ago.
Sack number 2 on Peete. Again, they say without a tight end, the guy is vulnerable. I don't believe that's really the case. You're either running away or you see the guy coming, so you're not going to get injured. You do go down a lot, but you're also very vulnerable defensively. Case in point, Jim Kelly with the Houston Gamblers sacked 77 times, Jim, but he threw 44 touchdowns his rookie year.
We've got the 2-minute warning. Jim Scow makes his presence known immediately in Tampa Bay with the sack. Players, 18 new players in all for Tampa Bay this year. And, well, we've mentioned several, how they were acquired. Chris Chandler's the backup to Testaverde for a 1992 #1. Anderson, well noted, you said, just for a couple of third-round draft picks. And Jim Scow made the last tackle. He was picked up after the last exhibition game in a trade for Rod Jones, a cornerback, a starting cornerback for the Bucs. They needed him for his pass rush. He already has a sack. Now 3rd and 20. Jason Phillips. There's Scow, number 71 on him. Punting time for the Lions. Kurt Jarvis also on the tackle. There's Jim Scow.
Really set up a receiver screen. Look at this. They pull a guard. They try to get him out on Scow, and now they throw out into the flats, or really behind the line of scrimmage like a screen pass to Phillips, and Phillips comes in. Most interesting thing in that play, though, is Peete was hit late, came up limping. We'll check on that.
Jim Arnold to punt for the 2nd time. Eric Sanders will snap it back to him, and Willie Drury will return for the Bucs. Good pressure and a good punt. Another fair catch called by Drury at the 42-yard line. 1 minute, 5 seconds before the half. And you're looking at Frank Gans, who is the special teams coach for the Lions. And they like to say their special teams indeed are special.
Lions, Jim, finished no worse than 6th in 4 key return and cover statistics. You know, when Gans holds a meeting, as you look at these special teamers and some of those records I just mentioned, when Gans holds a meeting, even non-special teamers come because he's an inspirational kind of guy. He was a head coach in the National Football League, gets guys fired up. So all the linebackers love to come and just listen to him.
Out of the shotgun, a minute to go. Testaverde to his safety valve, incomplete. John Harvey. That's Testaverde's first incompletion of the game. 6 for 7 for Testaverde, 3 touchdowns.
More importantly, he hadn't thrown an interception. You know, he's had 63 interceptions in 35 NFL games. So if there's one thing they want to control, it's that. He's making good decisions today.
2nd down and 10. Left side, incomplete. Good coverage on Mark Carrier. Leroy Irvin, number 47. Leroy Irvin on the same side as Benny Blades out of Miami. Blades and Testaverde, of course, know each other well. They practiced many times together, going against one another down at Miami.
Yeah, you know, he's a Pro Bowl game maker type guy. He's really strong back there. He switched from strong safety to free safety, and Testaverde ironically still says, I know him so well, that's the guy I do want to go after.
Yeah, he says, I don't mind going against Benny Blades because I know him. Although Blades is a great one. Oh, Anderson holds on, but does not pick up the first down. Tackled from behind.
Great pursuit by Michael Kofer, and I think he hurt his shoulder when he hit the turf. Boy, I hate this artificial stuff. I mean, it's hard as a rock. It's a bad rug. And you get a big guy like Kofer, and Kofer is big. He's 6'5", 245, and he runs like a running back. And he's coming from the backside. He came down hard on his shoulder. Watch this now. All right, they're going to get it out to number 40, right there on the right of your screen. That's Anderson. Anderson will just kind of slide into the flats, and they'll get it to him. Now, Kofer's going to come from behind him. Watch 55 coming to the left of your screen. See him? Now watch him hit. That's dangerous. There's no give to this at all. I'd love to see the day that just go back to natural grass, but now that you have these domes,
yes,
that stuff wouldn't grow too well in here.
It'd be very difficult. very, very difficult. And you think now of all the northern cities that used to be so difficult to play in once you hit December, places like Minnesota and Detroit, even Indianapolis, you know, they of course didn't have a team before the Hoosier Dome. But you don't see cold weather games that often now.
Get that retractable roof like they have up in Canada.
Toronto. Coming up at halftime, back to our beautiful new NFL Today set. And our guys there, Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw. They'll have scores and highlights from this opening day in the National Football League. Greg and Terry just a few minutes away as we now are down to 44 seconds left of the second quarter. Mark Royals to punt for the second time. Sam Ano will snap it back.
Gray's going to have a chance at a return here.
Gray ran one back for a touchdown in the preseason. He'll field it at the 16. Oh, look at him go.
He's dangerous.
15-yard return. He worked hard for the 15. The ball is spotted at the 31-yard line. Detroit has all three of its timeouts remaining. No, they have two, actually, I should say. Two timeouts.
You know, you don't want to analyze this. You just want to admire it. Watch this guy now. He's hit once, twice, bounces out of that. Here comes the secondary range and bounces and spins past that and almost gets his feet again. 6 guys hit Mel Gray.
Rodney Peete, incomplete. Knocked away by Rodney Rice, and Robert Clark wanted interference.
You know what's interesting thus far, Jim? This guy, Rodney, here's Robert Clark. Usually he's the wide guy used as the stretch to stretch this defense as you look at the replay. They're using him more today because Tampa Bay's playing a lot of man on the outside, zone inside. In other words, they're trying to shut down Richard Johnson, who was their leading receiver last year, trying to shut down that middle. And as long as there's man outside, they'll go with Clark because they think Clark can beat those guys one-on-one.
Second and 10, 26 seconds to go. Pass over the head of Barry Sanders. Irvin Randall was running with Barry, but the pass a little too steep. 5 touchdowns here in the first half. 21-14 Tampa Bay. Vinny Testaverde with 3 touchdown passes.
Thing about Rodney Peete, Wayne Fontes worries about it all the time. He throws the ball high, especially over the middle. Right now, he's one of his last 7 with an interception, so he's not really hot right now. And Wayne Fontes says, hey, I'm not afraid to pull him. I'll put Galliano in there, but I will stick with him a little bit and try to let him work his way out of it. If he doesn't, I'll make the switch.
It's 3rd down and 10. Incomplete. Pass was short of Richard Johnson.
Totally out of his rhythm right now.
really on that opening drive. It's been a different story since. Robert Clark had a career on the opening drive.
You know, you talk to Richard Johnson, their leading receiver, says if he throws me 125 balls, I'll catch 120 of them. 5 will be overthrown.
Jim Arnold to punt. 14 seconds left. Drury, still the return man. This is not a good punt, but bounces favorably. Picked up at the 24. Drury out of bounds, the 31-yard line. One more snap and the half will be here. 46 yards on the punt. It's interesting to note, as far as first half thoughts, that Detroit was the explosive team, the exciting team, the team that would light up the scoreboard. But it's been Tampa Bay with 3 touchdowns here in the opening half, and an offense that has not really been stopped.
Well, explosive is a good word for that offense, the run and shoot, the silver stretch, whatever you want to call it. But Tampa Bay's been more methodical. They've done things more conventionally. They've had very good game plan as far as getting Anderson involved, both as a runner and a wide receiver. So it's been very solid for them offensively.
Bucks use a timeout as they help Willie Drury across the field to the sidelines, shaken up on that return. These two teams meet again in only 2 weeks. It's an oddity in this year's schedule. Detroit will play at Tampa Bay on September 22nd.
They'll just run a clock play and get out of here with the lead.
It's a 7-point lead for Tampa Bay. Leading on the road. Very interesting first half. Compelling. On this day, 66,000, however, are here as Tampa Bay leads Detroit 21-14, a battle in the NFC Central division. Denny Testaverde with 3 first-half touchdown passes. And Tim Brandt, what were your thoughts about the first half?
You mentioned one. Testaverde had plenty of time to make the right decisions, has not thrown an interception, so consequently Detroit now has to make some changes, get some pressure on him. I think the biggest surprise is Sanders. Sanders had 5 carries, 25 yards, all in the first quarter. Detroit only had the ball 4 minutes in the second period, so they've got to get him involved in this game, both as a receiver and a runner, to be effective.
On the other side, Gary Anderson, we mentioned before the game, would be one of the players who could bring a whole new dimension to the Bucs offense, and he really has opened it up. Part of the reason why Vinny's had such success.
58 yards running, 43 yards receiving, a touchdown. I mean, there's getting a running back involved in the offense, both as a running back and a wide receiver. That's what Sanders has to do for Detroit. Right now, Tampa Bay's got it going. They look like they're strong. They like what they're doing. They stay with their game plan. Where Detroit, Rodney Pete's totally out of rhythm right now, and part of that is because Tampa Bay made a very subtle adjustment. They brought defensive ends. They're keeping Pete in the pocket. Usually he's rolling out, and consequently, he's standing back there now. He's totally out of rhythm.
Well, it was an exciting first half. Let's hope it's a second half that can match it in that department. Time of possession, the Bucs with the edge there. One of the reasons why Barry's only carried the ball 5 times.
Well, and time of possession, I think, can be misleading, too. A lot of that is defense. If a defense turns it over, gets you in and out in 3 plays, that's a big key. Here's the kick.
Turned by Mel Gray. Mel Gray is moving to 30, to the 40, and pushed out of bounds by the kicker, Steve Christie. A 45-yard return, and Frank Gans sees his field of expertise coming through.
Gans is the bell cow, boy. He's the one everybody wants to follow to the promised land. You'll never hear him get down on Gray for trying to outrun the kicker once he gets to the outside. See, Gray knows that kicker has the angle, the pursuit angle, but he doesn't try to juke him, tries to outrun him.
Jason Phillips in motion. Sanders the lone back. They run it with Barry Sanders. Running down the line of scrimmage and tackled by Winston Moss. Winston Moss starting at the outside linebacker position. He's backed up by Keith McCants. Second down and 9. Moss has really had a big camp as he's kept the prized rookie on the bench. It's second down and 8, actually, as you look at the difference in the quarters for Rodney Peete. sizzle in first possession. Now from the outside, the ball is knocked loose, and it is recovered by, let's see, Tampa Bay. John Cannon on the recovery. Second turnover today committed by Detroit. A pass interception and now the fumble. Recovered by Cannon.
Cannon's one of those defensive ends we're telling you about that's keeping Pete in the pocket. Watch number 78. You got to feel really good for this kind of guy. He's the guy that comes up with the fumble right here. Been around 9 years, one of the oldest guys. The weight room at William & Mary, his alma mater, is named after him. He was a backup guy for a couple of years, moved back into a starter. He recovers the fumble.
And Irvin Randall knocked it loose from the Detroit 37. Vinny looking long to Carrier. And the pass is overthrown at the 5-yard line. Leroy Irvin one-on-one coverage. I have to think that was a nice acquisition for Detroit, picking up Leroy Irvin, who the Rams let go of back in the spring, signed on as a free agent by Detroit.
Very savvy, knows the position. He was working against an all-pro that time, Mark Carrier. Carrier had 86 receptions last year, so he knows what to do as well against any defensive back.
Irvin is 32. He plays next to the free safety, Vinny Blades. Bringing him some experience. 2nd and 10, 5 defensive backs for the Lions. McNorton's the extra one. Anderson into a pack of Lions at the 38.
Couple of things I want you to watch here. Jerry Ball right in the middle. Watch him. He slides right down the line and keeps things. And here's Kofor on the outside. He'll come up and contain it. Now watch it. Roll this thing. Watch the big guy in the middle. Ball's 310 pounds. He can dunk a basketball. Look at him just slide down the line of scrimmage. Boom. Takes on the blocker, frees himself, forces it. Here comes Kofor, the backer, out there on the outside. He keeps everything inside along with 58 Jamison.
Keith Ferguson as well. There's a look at the ball. 3rd and 10. Open man, Carrier at the 25. And out of bounds at the 17. Runs over a photographer. Vinny Blades pushes him out, but it's a first down for the Bucs.
Talk about a guy getting confidence. Last week he was booed in the last preseason game. Couldn't hit anything. Said it was his worst day since Pee-wees. Now he's right on target. Here's a pickup of 20 to Carrier. Carrier's another guy that's interesting. Says he donates $50 to his church every time he misses a ball.
Church just denied $50 as Carrier picks up the first down.
Donated $600 last year.
Here's Cobb on the carry. Tell you, that bordered on a late hit out of bounds by Blades. He went some 5 or 6 yards off the sideline.
Jim, he got his mission accomplished. You know what he was trying to do? He's trying to put a swivel on the head of Carrier. He wants Carrier to be looking for him the next time he comes out. So he knew he was still in play, put the hit on. He knows a flag's not going to come. The only thing that could have happened is, as you mentioned, he came up high with that arm, and if you clothesline a guy, you're going to get a flag right now.
2 tight ends. Cobb is the lone setback. Anderson and Hall are the 2 tight ends. Second down play. Testaverde goes back to the middle to Hall, and he's tackled at the 4. That's a first down for the Bucs. Hall's second catch of the game. You remember how quickly the Bucs hit pay dirt. 2 minutes, 15 seconds into this game, they threw it to Hall for the touchdown.
Best tight end in the history of the University of Hawaii. That's what they say over there. Perkins calls him Iron Man because of his mental and physical toughness. This guy, I mentioned this earlier, in Hawaii, he walked on hot coals as a ritual because he said it improved his concentration. I think that's sick.
Tell you, Absorbine Jr. sure enjoyed him doing that. Pick up on the feet a little bit. First and goal from the 4. Cobb tackled at the 2. Keith Ferguson, 10-year veteran is Ferguson from Ohio State. You know, Ferguson last week on his way to the last preseason game at Cincinnati stopped off in Columbus, Ohio, where he went through graduation ceremonies. He got his degree in communications at Ohio State at age 31. Went through the commencement exercises. Second down and goal. Two tight ends. Cobb the setback. Cobb touchdown. Reggie Cobb behind the block of Ron Hall.
And the rookie Beckles. They sealed off Ferguson. Ball couldn't get down there.
.10:31 to go in the third quarter. Steve Christie will attempt the extra point. Chance to make it 28-14 Tampa Bay. He has done it. A 2-touchdown advantage for the visiting Buccaneers. Reggie Cobb finds the end zone in the NFL for the first time. The rookie from Tennessee puts Tampa Bay up by 14.
And he's working against Ferguson, the 10-year veteran. Watch the block now. He'll take Ferguson and just seal into the outside. Ball, the nose tackle can't get off, and Cobb just takes it right up in between in that hole. Nice job by Beckles.
There he is, Ian Beckles. Canadian, speaks fluent French.
Loves to play rugby. You know why? He gets to carry the thing. He's a load, 295.
Ray Perkins a few ideas for short yardage. Not that he needs any the way they're going today.
I like your thinking.
Mel Gray downs it in the end zone. I'll say this, Steve Christie, the kicker, comes in with a lot of pressure. But he has done his job kicking them deep, except for the one that Mel Gray returned. 4 of them have gone for touchbacks today.
Been impressed really with Tampa Bay all the way across. You know, they knew that there were going to be a lot of passes completed, but they just said just maintain your composure and your game plan. Pete stays in at quarterback.
Look at Christie from the 20. Greer and Phillips to the right. In motion is Johnson. Clark to the left. Pressure from Randall, and he tackles Pete for the loss.
Sack number 4. You know, we told you, you're either running away from the pressure or you're running into it. You can see it. This time he's running away, but he's totally out of rhythm. He's taken much too long now to make his decisions. Watch this thing now. He's going to be running out here. Pressure's coming from behind, and he's not reading quick enough. Watch this. All right, he should be reading right now and getting rid of it. Pressure comes from the backside, takes him down for the 4th sack. That's the 3rd sack for Randall.
And he's also the man who knocked the ball loose on the last Detroit possession for the fumble. Covered by Cannon. 2nd and 17 over the head of Clark. And he took a pounding from Rodney Rice.
Another hurry by Randall. He's got those sacks we mentioned. Only had 2.5 prior to that in his career. I'll tell you something. I think Detroit has to make a quarterback change in the next series. Clark's a little bit shaken up. He's got some cramps and can't get up out there as a wide receiver spot.
Tell you who's in the game now for Tampa Bay. Number 52, Keith McCants. 4th player chosen in the draft. And there's the backup quarterback, Galliano. Again, Andre Ware was not activated for this game today. We have a player down on the field injured for the Lions. We'll be right back. Rookie Keith McCants seeing his first action from the line of scrimmage. He's played special teams. He put in a quarterback pressure on that last play. Mel Gray is in at receiver for Detroit on 3rd and 17. Comes the outside pressure, and he goes down again. Kevin Murphy. And Pete took a hard hit.
Here's your pressure now coming from the outside. They're playing zone to the strong side. They're blitzing and playing man to the backside. That's the adjustment they made at halftime. Watch this. Pete never sees this one coming. So all the detractors now, the run and shoot, say no tight end. That means one man's free and the quarterback's vulnerable. There it is. There's some food for thought. Pete unquestionably shaken up after that one.
Drury standing at midfield. Arnold will punt from the back of the end zone. Let's fly a high kick. Instant coverage provided there by Crockett. Ray Crockett. What a day yesterday in college football with Miami, Alabama, Penn State all losing. Next weekend we'll have a doubleheader for you. Pittsburgh and Oklahoma in the afternoon. That's from Norman. And then at night from South Bend, Michigan and Notre Dame will open up their season. Notre Dame will be ranked #1 in the nation come tomorrow morning once the polls are released, with Miami defeated last night by BYU 28-21. Starting out from the Lions into the field, Gary Anderson breaking some tackles and pushed out of bounds by Taylor. Terry Taylor after nearly a 10-yard gain by Gary Anderson. You know, one thing about sitting out for a year, Anderson told us that in a way it helped him. He feels rejuvenated. He's playing for the team that he wants. He did not take an extra year of pounding punishment. His legs are fresh and he's having a good day.
Plus, he lives in Tampa. He's in a very comfortable situation. You know, last year as he sat out, he went to games, watched Tampa Bay play, got to know the coaches a little bit. Didn't know he was going to be traded, but Ray Perkins also told us he's been trying to get Anderson for years.
Last year, the Bucs ran for 100 yards as a team 6 times. 6 times, and they went 5-1. They went 5-11 on the year. So they have now gone over the 100-yard mark in rushing here in the opener. Early third quarter. Leading by 2 touchdowns. Anderson.
Want to know something else? Perkins, 3 years, never had a run of at least 50 yards. I can guarantee you he'll get it this year if Anderson stays healthy.
Ball is at the 36-yard line. (28-14) Tampa Bay. It's something else if they went in here and scored and led by 21 points. On the road. Second down pass play. Carrier twisting around at the 30. Cutting back to the 25, which is first down yardage. An 11-yard gain. First down for the Bucs. Tackled by Taylor.
Carrier, great season last year, 86 receptions. This time just a little clear out. Anderson underneath. They go over. Here comes Carrier underneath Anderson, who just kind of cleared that whole area out.
You have to think he is the most underrated receiver in the National Football League, Mark Carrier.
Caught a pass in 33 straight games now.
Made the Pro Bowl last year for the Bucs. First down play. Anderson with a flag down inside the 20 to the 18. Benny Blades from the secondary makes the stop. 7:28 remaining in the third quarter.
Gary Anderson just looks like he's having fun, doesn't he? I mean, he's just down there relaxed, having fun, expecting his 3rd child in October, living in Tampa Bay.
Illegal motion. Number 74 offense. 5 yards. Replay first down.
Say what you want about sitting out. There's Gruber. Paul Gruber, fine left tackle. Say what you want about sitting out, but it has to be tough for you. He went to 1 game last year, attended 1 game, but sat in the stands for the Chargers.
They take Anderson to the top of the screen, this time as a wide receiver.
Perkins is the lone back. First down and 15. Scrambling and throwing short of the target. Hall. Testaverde now wondering maybe if I shouldn't have run that one. He had an opening on that side of the field, but he's posted some really good numbers.
Talk with Mike Shula down on the field just before the game. Mike, perhaps the youngest assistant in the National Football League. He's the quarterback coach with Tampa Bay. He played for Perkins at Alabama. He said that Testaverde had his best preseason ever. Even though he was off last week, he said everything mechanically was right. He just couldn't throw from here across the room and hit it. He just had one of those nights, but mechanically was solid, had a great preseason.
Second down at 15. Two tight ends, Anderson and Hall. Cobb in the backfield. Pass is complete to Perkins, who had to reach down for it. Actually, that's Cobb. And Cobb is tackled at the 25. Third and long coming up. How do you see the NFC Central this year?
Well, there's no dominant team. I think that's well established. I think that you're looking at two teams right here that have a pretty good shot. As a matter of fact, many of the prognosticators say Tampa Bay could win it. A lot of other ones say, hey, Detroit won its last 5 games, 6 of its last 7, all 4 preseason games. They're right.
Third down and 10, shotgun formation. 6 defensive backs in for the Lions. McNorton and Crockett joined the starters. Harvey in the backfield, but the pass is intercepted. Intercepted by William White. He only has to get by Testaverde. And he's tackled at the 31. This can certainly turn a game around.
You see the 2-deep defense that they're playing. Watch 35. The ball's tipped up. Here comes White. White, the smallest, perhaps the smallest strong safety in the league. They say he's the best tackler. This time very alert on the tip drill. He's going to catch some grief for this, though. Tackled by Testaverde. Films. The kids will go crazy in the film room.
Carrier just lost $50 to his church back in Louisiana. Hit him right on the hands. That should never have been intercepted. Should have gone as a completion. There was movement. Was it Brown or was it Cannon?
False start. Number 75. Offense. First down.
It's Bob Galliano, the backup quarterback. Must feel as though he's in a strange position, wedged between Rodney Peete and Andre Ware, who is currently listed as third team. First and 15. Here's the option. He keeps for a short gain.
You know what happened that time? We told you that they're going zone to the strong side, man to the backside. They're bringing up that linebacker. So as soon as we saw the receiver that time, Phillips, go in motion, what happened was the linebacker came up. The linebacker on that side was Broderick Thomas, came up and looked like he was going to blitz, so they brought the option at him. Option Thomas, and they got the gain of about 3 or 4.
Second down, 12 to go. Barry Sanders. Oh, he lost his footing. Down to the 24-yard line.
That's his most spectacular gain of the afternoon, 11 yards. Could have been bigger, but he makes everything exciting. Just has that stop-and-go motion, got his feet caught on the AstroTurf. You really have to exaggerate your steps here. It'll take you down.
He tumbled his way to the 24, which means it's third and short. Third and call it 1. 4:56 to go, third quarter. Detroit trailing by 14. Sanders will not get the first down. In fact, he'll lose yardage. Broderick Thomas on the tackle.
Thomas just walked up when they showed strength to the opposite side. He's coming immediately when he sees that. Got right in the middle of the play.
And on fourth down, Detroit's going for it, to the approval of the home folks. 4th and a long 2. Randall in pursuit. Bradley keeps his feet and steps out after getting the first down. Well, let's see where they measured it, where they spotted it.
I think he got it, but it's a strange mark. He came running up, put his right foot down, then put the ball in between his feet.
I thought so too. I thought initially he indicated the ball was going to be placed a good half yard past the first down yardage.
And they've got to bring the change from the other side of the field. That's a tough mark. Again, you probably saw Phillips go in motion and Broderick Thomas come up and walk up on that side. This time they tried to go to the strength of formation.
He got it.
See Jarvis trying to chase him. He's got no shot. Goes right around him, and there's the lunge. There's the left foot. He's out of bounds with the other foot, but he definitely made it.
We're at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. Detroit trailing 28-14, but is the momentum shifting? They're driving and handing off now to Barry Sanders on the first down play, and a gain of 6, maybe 7. Tackled by Kurt Jarvis.
Finally getting Sanders in the game now. 9 carries, 43 yards. He'll pop one. The thing about Sanders is he's a compact 205. Stays low behind the blockers. Difficult to find. He's a jackrabbit starter, so he's on you before you're still reading the direction of the play. His tack red line is on his 3rd step.
2nd down and 4. Staying with Barry Sanders. Looking and breaking some tackles, and that effort gets him a first down. I mean, he could have been dropped for a loss.
He'll juke you, stop and go, make you grasp at air, give you time to get a blocker inside. Boy, what a talent.
1st and 10 just outside of the 10-yard line. 2:30 left, 3rd quarter. Barry Sanders takes a big hit and picks up about 2. Robinson and Hamilton in the secondary make the combined hit.
5 of the last 6 games, he went over 100 yards, averaged 5.3 per carry, scored 14 touchdowns. You know he's going to break one soon.
Rodney Peete needs to steer his team into the end zone for a confidence boost. 2nd down and 7. Fakes, rolls, keeps, touchdown. Showed you something here as he challenged the Buck defenders.
Peete gets credit for the touchdown with a great effort down here. Not many quarterbacks will do this, but I'll tell you something. He stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Shouldn't have been a touchdown. If they review it, they'll take it back.
I'm sure they'll see this one.
If you see that replay again, just watch his right foot.
Clearly out of bounds before he launched toward the end zone. And they'll take a look at it in what will set up a 3rd and short situation.
Watch him coming around. Sanders with a great fake. That takes in the linebackers. Now here he comes. Watch Pete's right foot now as he gets inside the 5. This next step with his right foot right there is out of bounds. No question about it. Look at that.
That is as clear and conclusive as any replay you can get. if this one is not overturned.
After further review, the play has been ruled no touchdown. He stepped out of bounds at the 2-yard line. It'll be placed on the 2-yard line.
See, the fans here don't understand it. They don't have the benefit of the replay down here. There's no question his foot was out of bounds. Great effort. I'll tell you, I'd give Sanders an assist, too. His fake took everybody to that side and left Pete with the swing around.
Boy, that's an emotional roller coaster for you. You've just, what you think has put your team within a touchdown, gone to the sideline, accepted all the congratulations. But now you have to come back out and earn a first down or get the touchdown.
Only need about 1.5 yards for a first. They can get a first. They need 2 for the touchdown. So it's a pretty good situation. Second down here, a third down, really. They can get the first or the touchdown.
It's just the psychological thought, though, that you've had a touchdown taken away after you've already celebrated it. Let's see how they handle it.
As you mentioned earlier, this is one of the weaknesses of the run and shoot, short yardage goal line.
They can get the first without the touchdown. Sanders, I believe he has the first as he's inside the 1, and again he made another excellent move to avoid a loss.
They'll move the chains.
First and goal from less than 1 yard away. 4 chances from here as we're in the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Lions trying to get within 7. Sanders the lone back. The 2 slot receivers are in tight. Keep on the keep. And did he fumble the football?
He was bobbling it. Buccaneers say they have it.
Look at that. They have ruled it Tampa Bay football.
Recovered in the end zone by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay ball. First down.
How about that? Not only do they get the ball, it's a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20. Keep an eye on it now. He bobbled his ball right away. It hit him in the chest. See it? Bounces right off his shoulder pad plate. Now it's just a scrum.
Harry Hamilton has recovered for the Bucs. And again, the touchdown via the replay was taken away. It's a 14-point lead. Well, they took the touchdown away, the fumble into the end zone, and Tampa Bay now begins from the 20. Running play with Anderson, tackled by Kofor, who's back in there.
This will be one of the most talked about plays in the National Football League Week 1, certainly here in Detroit. This was a touchdown taken away. Now watch his right foot as he gets inside the 5 here, just inside the 3. See, no question it's out of bounds. So they signal touchdown, they review it, and they take it away. 2 plays later, the quarterback sneak attempt, ball comes up, poor snap, hits Rodney Peete right in the numbers. Tampa Bay gets it back. Not only that, but instead of being backed up, now they move it out to the 20 after the touchback.
And the 3rd quarter is over with the score, Tampa Bay 28 and Detroit 14. Our coverage will continue after this message. Amusing moment in that fumble near the goal line. Look at Lomas Brown. Look, tossed out of there. Don't mess with the officials. Carry by Anderson for a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 6 coming up for the Buccaneers. Here's another angle now of that costly fumble. Ball just seemed to snap right through.
No question. Kevin Glover, the center. The ball comes up. We told you how high it hit on his chest plate. I don't even think it ever hit his hands. Went right by his hands and came up, almost hit him in the mouth.
And Hamilton had the recovery. 3rd and 6 for the Bucs. They'll attempt to burn out the final 15 minutes and chalk up an opening victory. Or will they throw? Yes, they will. High pass, great snag by Anderson. Out to the 37-yard line. Gain of 12. Keep picking up those first downs. A chance just to run the clock. The Rams will be Tampa Bay's opponent next week. Green Bay's beating them at the moment, 17-14. The Rams will visit Tampa. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers. Reggie Cobb is the lone back. 2 tight ends set. Cobb making sure he holds on to the 43-yard line. Tackled by Benny Blades.
How about that Washington score? 28-0 over Phoenix. They're strong.
Joe Bugle going back. How about the way the schedule just happened to work out this week with former coaches going against their old teams like Bugle?
Yeah, you know, they love Bugles in Washington, too. They said they hope he wins every single game except for 2. And that's when they play against Washington. Washington has them this week and then in 2 weeks again out there.
Glanville going against his old Oilers today. And flags fall. And I believe the down clock had expired. Bruce Coslett will make his debut later today for the Jets against his old team.
72, offense, still 2nd down.
Cincinnati Bengals. False start on the play against the Bucs. Rob Taylor.
Tampa Bay, when they put Reggie Cobb in the backfield, loves to load up with 2 tight ends. Almost every time Cobb's back there, they've got 2 tight ends in the game. And you watch him, he doesn't go and hit the hole immediately. He gives a little loop to Reed and then reacts.
12:45 remaining. Tampa Bay 28, Detroit 14. It was 21-14 at the half. 2 tight ends. Cobb the 1 running back. Slant pattern. Hill has his first reception of the game at the 49-yard line. An 11-yard gain and a 1st down.
Bruce Hill's caught 50 or more passes back-to-back years. He's an interesting story, too, Jim. This is a guy that was born in leap year. Celebrated only 6 birthdays in his lifetime.
Boy, that's tough.
Youngest guy in the NFL.
Hill comes to the near side. It's Carrier to the left. 1st and 10 from the 49. Ball in motion. And immediately. Boy, that could have been a fumble opportunity as Mark Brown snuffed it out. Former Miami linebacker Mark Brown, 8th season from Purdue. 11:30 remaining in this contest. 2nd down and 11. Hill to the right, Carrier to the left. We have not seen Testaverde go to the rookie tight end that backs up Hall. Jesse Anderson has got great speed. Here he throws it to Cobb at the 45 of Detroit. Set up 3rd and 4 for Tampa Bay. We've got an update time as we return you to Greg Gumbel. Take it away, Greg.
Well, Jim, at RFK in Washington, Mark Rippon has thrown 3 touchdown passes, and now the defense in on the act. The 4th interception of the day for Tim Rosenbaugh. Alvin Walton returns 57 yards. Joe Bugle's return to Washington is not a great one. It's 28-0 Skins in the 4th. Jim?
Yes, and all 28 Redskin points have come off of turnovers. That one run back for a defensive touchdown by Walton. 3rd down and 4 from the Lions' 45-yard line. Then he has his man at the 24, Gary Anderson. Now he's touched down as he makes the diving grab at the 23.
Here's a situation where Testaverde gets away with a bad decision. The open man is across the middle. Watch this now. Testaverde comes and sets. He's got an open man just dragging across the middle. Instead throws into double coverage, and there's where Anderson just beat the guys in a zone. Watch the rookies we talked about early. There's Mayberry and Beckles. Beckles is 62. Mayberry's number 1. Or 61, rather. These are 2 rookies, and they give Testaverde all the time he needs to throw to Anderson.
Anderson has 78 yards in receptions, 73 yards running, 151 total offense. 1st down and a timeout called, but there's a flag in the secondary. Yeah, they're trying to beat the down clock with the timeout.
Timeout. Tampa Bay, It's their first timeout. The timeout was charged before it reached 0 on the game clocks. Timeout, CB.
So no penalty. Our coverage of the National Football League will continue after this message and a word from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS.
Two rookies in line, and you say, hey, how does that work? Well, here's Mayberry. Here's Beckles. Watch how casual they are. They start talking to each other. Hey, do you have ball? No, I've got ball. I'm going to take this guy on the outside. Yeah, I've got ball. Okay. So here's ball right over top. 93, the all-pro. They picked him up, and they got big yardage out of him.
First down pass inside the 10 to Bruce Hill. Out of bounds at the 8. Dead silence here. Trying to restore the roar.
We were asking before the game, this is a team, when you count preseasons, won 9 straight games. You say, why won't they sell out? They get 65,000. They say a lot of fans are still skeptical. They aren't sold yet that this is a quality team.
First and goal from the 8. Perkins picks up a couple of yards. Again, the Lions won their last 5 games of the 1989 season. Went 4-0 in the preseason. So around here, they were looking at it like 9 straight wins, although, of course, you don't count the exhibition.
Can't put this one in the books yet. A lot of folks are leaving, which I find a little bit surprising. You've got almost 9 minutes left. Tampa Bay scores here. It certainly could close the gate, but with the run and shoot, if you're still only down by 2, you've got a pretty decent shot.
Just handed us the actual attendance today, and it did not meet their expectations. 54,700. This has been a 7-minute drive for Tampa Bay. 8.5 to go. Second and goal. Anderson stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Tough to run the run and shoot when you don't have the ball. Tampa Bay's been very methodical, I guess is the word, with their offense. They've used the clock efficiently and certainly used that guy efficiently. Gary Anderson, what an afternoon.
Hey, Vinny Testaverde may attempt here on 3rd and goal from the 5. He may go into the end zone. Should he complete the pass, it would be his 4th touchdown pass of the game, and that would be an accomplishment he has never achieved in the NFL. 4 TDs in a game. Let's see if they go to the airwaves. High formation. Anderson gets the pitch. Now cuts back. Look at Gary Anderson get back to the line of scrimmage.
It's easy to see why Ray Perkins says he's more comfortable with this team than any team he's had. You and I both looked at each other when he said that yesterday afternoon. That's a strong comment to make. But this guy makes it a whole different ball club.
Well, at this point, a field goal would be equally as damaging as a touchdown to the Lions. It would put them down 3 scores.
I agree.
And this will be Steve Christie's first field goal attempt. Out of the hold of Royals, we'll call it 22 yards. Steve Christie is good on his first field goal attempt in the NFL. And it's now a 17-point lead for the visitors. 31-14, Tampa Bay. One time when this game was deadlocked at 14, the yardage was essentially even. Now Tampa Bay has doubled up the figure on Detroit. Gary Anderson has been a spark, as many expected. And Detroit is about to make a quarterback change, I believe, once they get possession of the football. Total offense for the Lions since the first quarter, 23 yards. 23 yards in the last 2.5 quarters. Steve Christie, who was spotted at the Senior Bowl by the Tampa Bay staff, has had a good debut. Kicked short this time to Jeff Campbell, a rookie from Colorado. Campbell tackled at the 25. Tackled by Jesse Anderson, the rookie tight end, and Kevin Murphy. Here he comes, Bob Galliano.
Bob Galliano, third-year pro. He's out of Utah State, but more importantly, he was the starting quarterback for Mouse Davis with the Denver Gold in the USFL. Got a lot of starts last year. He's an accomplished guy with the run and shoot, understands the concept. Where Rodney Peete struggled a little bit with the Tampa Bay adjustments. We'll see what Galliano can do now.
Only 6:38 remaining. Keith McCants is in defensively. You see him threatening the blitz. Galliano hit as he throws. Ball is up in the air and falls incomplete. Intended for Richard Johnson.
Silver stretch is designed to stretch the defense. That's what it did, no question about it. So here comes Detroit now. They put this guy in motion, which makes this the strong side. They're walking up this linebacker, and they're bringing him after the quarterback. So the pressure, as Pete rolls to this side, is coming from the backside, and it's been very, very successful. They're playing zone to the front side right here, and they're playing man locked on here and dragging this guy across or up the middle and coming in and putting the pressure from behind.
5 sacks for the Bucs in this game. 1 forced the fumble.
Here it comes again. See the pressure. This time they went under it.
Barry Sanders. Sanders fumbles as the ball goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 24-yard gain.
All right, here comes the pressure from Keith McCants, 52. All right, that's the backside pressure we talked about. So this time Detroit accomplishes this by going back underneath the outside pressure, and it's a big gain for Barry Sanders.
It's a flag right in this area. And ball is near midfield. 6:20 remaining in the game.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52, Tampa Bay, 15 yards and a first down.
That's a frustration foul by Keith McCants. That's youth. He just wants to play so badly. You know, he's not starting. He was such a great college player, comes out as an underclassman, gets in here. He's having a tough time with the terminology and really learning the discipline. Never really played one position at Alabama. They moved him around, so he didn't learn the techniques.
1st and 10 for Detroit. As Galliano completes his first pass, his second pass, to the 15-yard line. Robert Clark. Galliano 1 of 2 now.
Tell you what he's doing too, Jim. He's trying to get these guys to hurry up. Wants to go to the hurry up offense with 6 minutes left in the game. His linemen were just walking back, going to a huddle. He says, hey, come on, guys. We have a shot.
From the 15. Trying to put his team in the end zone within a minute of taking the field. Galliano. Now across the middle. Clark at the 5. Clark zips in for the touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown. Galliano to Robert Clark, his second touchdown of the game.
He takes his time. Instead of getting happy feet back there, just waits for a receiver to go to his second option. These receivers have at least 3 options on every route. Just waited for the man to clear. He knows somebody will be open someplace.
Eddie Murray, kick is good. 31-21 with 5:34 left. That was 4 plays in a minute, 18 seconds. Yes, there still is time. 10-point lead for the Buccaneers. We're back with it 31-21, Tampa Bay leading. Detroit lining up for the onside kick. Ball is free. Recovered by the Lions. Crockett. Ray Crockett.
Didn't hide the fact they were going to it. They were just waiting for the ball to bounce up. Never did. Instead, it bounced off. Now it's a free-for-all, and they come in and they get it back. Now the crowd's back in it. These people get seasick jumping on and off the bandwagon.
Well, I tell you, they are really back right now from the 45-yard line. Galliano to Greer, intercepted by Haddix. And Haddix will race in for the touchdown to nail it shut.
Better open the doors now. People running for the exits.
62 yards. Afraid Alexander Graham Bell this one all the way.
Sure he did. It's a tough pass to throw, too, because it's such a long distance. Just step in front. It's easy pickings out there for Haddix.
Intended for Terry Greer. Haddix just stepped right in front to put the lead back up to 17. Extra point is good to make it 38-21. 5:15 left in the game. Wayne Haddix, free agent, has helped save the day.
Motions can change in a ball game. Galliano comes in and takes him just over a minute to put a score on there. There's the touchdown pass. They get the onside kick. They get it back. He throws the interception. 62-yard Tampa touchdown. And look at Galliano in the background. He's back to a couple paragraphs away from headlines again.
It's brought back a lot of excitement to this game. Christie, another kick deep, 5 yards out. Gray runs it to the 10, 20, 30. Blockers in front at midfield. Mel Gray to the 41-yard line. 64-yard run back. Eric Everett on the tackle.
Gray's electric. He's got good speed. He's always been a special teams guy, was in the USFL, is here. Now look at the convoy in front of him. Might have been wise just to stay behind him, but he tried to break out from him to get midfield, more running room. Had he stayed right along the sidelines, he might have gone in for the score. Not a bad afternoon, huh? 3 kick returns, 110 yards.
Just under 5 minutes to go, 4:59. Galliano looking left. As a man, Johnson at the 25-yard line. Fumbles picked up in midair by Jarvis. Jarvis rumbles to the 34-yard line. And the Bucks take it right away.
It's amazing how quickly they can move the ball, but then they just turn it right back over. I asked Wayne Fonts yesterday about turnovers. I said, hey, how about Barry Sanders? How about your receivers? He says, hey, we haven't done it in the preseason. We won't do it today, and yet they've really had troubles with that. Here it was just the helmet, gets on the ball, knocks it out.
The helmet of Eugene Marv is to be satisfying for Marv as well as Jarvis.
Of course, Jarvis will get all the headlines. You're right, the play was made by Marv.
Marv went to school in Michigan at Saginaw Valley State. 38-21, Tampa Bay. 2 tight ends set with Paul and Anderson. Running back is Cobb. Pick up the 3. Use a little clock here. I don't know where you start, but what have you seen today that impressed you the most about Tampa Bay?
Their consistency, how they really haven't lost their composure or given up a game plan because things happen so quickly against Detroit. A lot of teams would have made some adjustments that really maybe could have taken them out of the game plan. They made very subtle adjustments and just stayed within their game plan framework.
Movement on the right side of that offensive line for the Bucks.
False start. 72 offense. Still second down.
It's easy to see why Ray Perkins is very comfortable with this club. There's a lot of talent here, and it's young talent.
It's the most startling stat, though, as you come out here, and there are high expectations, but people haven't balanced that with 18 newcomers on the roster.
And yet, this guy came in with a point of emphasis for defensive pressure, turnovers, and he got that. Pass defense, all of that was accomplished today.
Anderson and Perkins, the starting backfield, returns. Second down and 12. Here Ray Anderson stacked up by Keith Ferguson. Tackled as well by Jerry Ball. Lions have called a timeout.
That's their first timeout. I do like what they are doing. They went up to their hurry-up offense with more than 6 minutes left. They're using timeouts when they can, and they're also trying to keep the speed of the game up, utilize the clock.
Let's get an update. Some exciting action elsewhere. Back to Greg Gumbel.
Well, Jim, both teams there will be interested in what's happening with the Vikings. Kansas City has just gone on top. The human snowplow, Christian Okoye, from 2 yards out, puts Kansas City back up top, 24-21 in the fourth quarter. Jim?
Okoye is the man who edged out Barry Sanders for the rushing title last year. Tampa Bay next week has a home date with the Rams. We have a doubleheader coming your way starting at 12:30 Eastern. There's the lineup, the late game. Redskins 49ers to the bulk of the nation. Third down and long. Inside handoff to Harvey. John Harvey short of the first.
Haven't seen too much of Harvey today. 5'11", 185, first-year player out of UTEP. You mentioned last year, just kind of watched developmentally.
Lions have called another timeout, leaving the Lions with one timeout remaining. Now, the Buccaneers' schedule for the next 4 weeks. Home games against the Rams, and as we mentioned, Detroit again in just 2 weeks. At the Vikings and at the Cowboys. What do you think of that, Timmy?
Well, Tampa Bay has showed you that they can play. Their scheme is sound, and Anderson makes this a whole different ball club. Against the Rams, I think they've got a pretty good shot. Detroit, of course, we saw what they can do here today. Minnesota is a question mark in my mind. In Dallas, I saw all 4 preseason games of the Cowboys, and if they win 8 games this year, it'll be a tremendous season for them. They're more like 5-win, 6-win team.
Yeah, from 1-15, you can't expect to.
No, that's still pretty good progress.
Yeah, that would be good progress.
Lonzo Highsmith will help that team tremendously.
Mark Royals into punt. 3:57 remaining in this contest. He fields the low snap. Knocks out a spiral to Gray at the 12-yard line. I think Gray ever exciting to the 22. A gain of 10 on the return. A 50-yard punt by Mark Royals. 2 new faces on the kicking teams for Tampa Bay, and I think they've done a good job as well today. Royals and Christie.
I'd give the game ball to every one of the defensive guys. Tampa Bay had 5 sacks and forced 5 turnovers. That'll win a game for you almost every time.
Galliano remains in there at quarterback. He's subbing for the starter Rodney Peete. Lifted here in the fourth quarter. Galliano's pass. Oh. Intended for Richard Johnson. And seemed to float free for a long time. Tampa Bay with a new defensive coordinator, Fred Bruni. Satisfying for Fred, I'm sure. He was at Atlanta last year and closed out his career as the defensive coordinator for the Falcons last year right here in the Silverdome against the Lions, and the Lions beat Atlanta.
He calls it an attacking zone. Although they play more man now, it's more aggressive. They have the odd man front.
Second down 10. Completion. Jason Phillips at the 30, about 2 yards shy of the first. Mark Robinson tackles him there. Hurry up offense for Detroit.
You can watch these plays now and say, sure, Tampa Bay's flying around to the football. Now they've got the big lead, not much time, but they've been doing it the whole game.
Third down 2. Batted down at the line of scrimmage by Ray Seals. What a story he is, Tim.
Well, here's a guy that didn't go to college, didn't have much of a background in football, starts playing for the Eastern League in Syracuse. And then there's a guy up there who's a friend of Ray Perkins, went to Alabama. He says, I've got a guy up here who looks just like Cornelius Bennett. Ray Perkins says, you got to be kidding.
What?
He says, no, really, Cornelius Bennett. Flew him down, gave him a tryout, and here he is. He's a factor.
Expecting big things out of him. Right defensive end. 4th down, 4th and 2. Barry Sanders scoots for the 1st down at the 3-minute mark.
Actually brought Seals in as a tight end. Wasn't fitting in. He says he just went back there. There were too many people. He couldn't read the defenses very well. Wasn't that accomplished in football, that experience. So he said, all right, let's try you on defense.
He played for the Syracuse Express, and now he says they have to make cuts every year. They got so many guys wanting to play. Fairy tale story. 1st down 10. Galliano throws it high for Phillips, who can't chase it down. 38-21 Tampa Bay. Galliano led Detroit to that closing 5-game win streak. It's about to come to an end. The longest Lions win streak since 1962. Jeff Campbell now in at receiver, number 87. He's at the W receiver, they call it. Now in motion. Galliano wanting to air it out, but won't get the opportunity. Eugene Marv.
Sack number 6 for Tampa Bay. Detroit coaches talking to him down on the field before the game and this entire past week out here. They said, we almost wish we didn't win all of our games in preseason. The reason is it kind of gives us false look.
3rd down. About 15 to go. Here he goes. Way downfield. Haddix is there. His 2nd interception of the quarter. Intended for Jeff Campbell. Wayne Haddix adding on to his return total. He ran the last one back for a touchdown. And with 2 minutes, 4 seconds left in the game, Galliano suffers his 2nd interception.
Look at Galliano, though. He calls over his receiver, Jeff Campbell. He's just a rookie. Says, hey, you did not read it properly. Gave him a little bit of instruction. Didn't ball him out. We've got 15 games left. Tries to teach the young guy something.
We talk about the 2 cornerbacks. Ricky Reynolds, who's got a special exemption. He was a holdout, so he didn't start today, or did not even suit up. Rodney Rice and Wayne Haddix took over. They both Plan B free agents. And outside of that opening drive by the Lions, they have done a really outstanding job today. Perkins on the carry. That brings us to the 2-minute mark. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left at Pontiac, Michigan, before the Tampa Bay Bucks open the 90s with a W. So what's in store for you tonight? One faces domestic chaos, the other faces a war. How far will Bush and Gorbachev go to help each other? 60 Minutes goes to the summit to find out. And then following 60 Minutes, it's Murder, She Wrote, and then the CBS Sunday night movie, Jesse. Tomorrow, don't miss a special 1-hour sneak preview of the fall season on CBS. It'll start with Uncle Buck, followed by Lenny. That's tomorrow on CBS. Special preview of things to come for Tampa Bay perhaps this year as they are on their way to an opening victory. And there's the team, the Rams. They'll play the Rams next week. The Rams are down 10. Down by 10 in the 4th. Anthony Dilwig has just thrown a 3-yard touchdown pass for the Packers to put them up by 2 scores.
There he is, 57-year-old Miles Davis, the evangelist of this run and shoot or silver stretch offense. And I tell you, one of my favorite guys in this league. He is a big believer in the offense. I am too. I think it'll work. But he did today. Averaged 30 points a game until today.
Anderson joined by Cobb in the backfield. Reggie Cobb spinning free. Goes out of bounds to stop the clock, but picks up the 1st down. 59 seconds remaining. Reggie Cobb with 11 yards on that run. His total, 11 carries, 42 yards, and a touchdown for the rookie.
He had a great shot of Ray Perkins talking to him as he went back, always trying to work with the young guys, trying to instruct them. He's about as honest as you'll come in a head coach. I mean, he just stays with his guys. He's tough sometimes, tough most of the time, to be honest. but he is a good, solid coach, good, solid guy, and he's always trying to teach.
Now just a snap or two away from making it official. Testaverde drops to a knee. I'd like to thank our coordinating producer, Charles H. Milton III. Produced by Michael Burks this game today, and directed by Joe Assetti. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. Senior producer at CBS Sports is David Winter. And our executive producer is Ted Shaker. Second down, last play of the game. 38-21. Tampa Bay delivered fireworks from the start. With the long touchdown pass to Ron Hall, 54 yards in the opening minutes. Testaverde throws 3 touchdowns today. In fact, Testaverde finishes 16 of 21, 237, 3 touchdowns. 1 was intercepted. We'll be back in just a moment.
Welcomes his old team, the Oilers, rather rudely to Atlanta. Joe Bugel says hello to his Hogs and wishes he never dropped in to visit. Bruce Cotlin's Jet shows some new stripes in Cincy. The Magic Man sacked, but the Packers were magical anyway. Detroit's Renachuk gets shot full of holes by the Bucs. The Raiders may be running out of L.A., but first they tried to run away from Denver. Week 1, served up on a platter. Next, at NFL Primetime.